Looking for a way to get healthy? The Chef You and I program has the answer. Kathryn Raaker and chefs from around the nation will teach even the most inexperienced how to cook. Come into their kitchen and watch them take ordinary foods with loads of calories and fat and turn those foods into healthier dishes. You will be the first to get tips and ideas on foods that are easy to prepare. Now let's join Kathryn and today's chef and learn how to make today's recipes.
Hi, this is Kathryn Raaker of the Chef You and I. I want to welcome back my friend and pastor, Father Andrew Umberg, the chef extraordinaire. Hello, Father. How are you today?
Great, Kathryn. Good to see you. How are you doing?
Well, you haven't been on the show in a while.
I know. I've lost a little weight.
I noticed that the first thing you walked in the door. So what are we making tonight?
Well, I was thinking an end of the summer barbecue. Except for the main dish, we'll have some of the other stuff that goes along with it, or could go along with it.
Right, because I have a new barbecue sauce I have to tell you about. It's Skip Kenny Barbecue, and we're going to use it. I'm going to use it later, another time. I'm going to give you a bottle so you can try it out. But these are important things that you have besides barbecuing or making chicken or whatever. All right?
That's right.
So the first thing you want me to do is what, Father?
Well, I'd like you to continue peeling this peach.
Okay.
And we're going to peel 2 peaches because we're going to make a blueberry, blackberry, and peach pie.
Ooh, that sounds delicious, Father.
Yes, at this time of the year, the berries are still pretty abundant. They were still on sale, and
Really?
I thought it would be fun to get those. Blackberries, though, tend to be pretty expensive, at least as you know in Ohio they are.
Yeah, they are.
And so I have 2 small packs of these, 2 4-ounce packs, but then I bought a quart of the blueberries, which are a little bit cheaper.
I love blueberries, and they're so good for you, Father, especially if you're trying to lose weight like both of us are.
Exactly.
Okay,
And
is
filled
that
with
good enough?
antioxidants. That's beautiful.
Okay.
Thank you. And then we're going to cut that up into little cubes eventually. I'll do that when they're peeled. And then we are then going to make a pie, a 1.5 crust pie.
A 1.5 crust.
Yes,
why is it 1.5, Father?
because we can cut off 25% of the calories.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So anyway, I bought some pie crusts already made.
Yeah.
I know some of you at home will have your own special pie crust that you like to make,
Right.
but I just bought 2 pie crusts. I know some people like pie sticks and the things like that. I don't like anything that I have to roll the whole thing out and make a mess with, so I'm just going to unroll these. I've taken them out of the refrigerator before, and I had them out of the box even, so that they're about room temperature. So
Father,
I'm going to go ahead.
is this not good or something?
Yeah, I would say that peach is not going to do it. Sorry.
Right. I didn't think so. So what do you want to do?
so-
Just use 1 peach?
Yeah, we can just use 1 peach
Okay, so
because
you
that's
want
the
me-
nice thing about a pie. The expression "easy as pie" applies because you don't
It's
have
easy
to
as
be
pie,
too
yeah.
exact. Yeah, it's hard to mess up a pie.
That's
especially
true.
when you buy the pie crust. Okay.
So how have you lost weight, Father?
Well, I've cut down a lot on my eating. I've
Yeah.
eaten a lot of fresh foods over the summer, including some of what I'm making here tonight, including the pie. When I made at home, I made it with an artificial sweetener.
Okay, which we have, by the way.
Well, tonight we were going to go with sugar, but we could always
We've got
substitute.
Splenda.
Okay, well, we could do that too.
Yeah, because we're always on a diet as well.
Well, good. Then that would make
Do you
it a
want this in
healthier
little
pie.
cubes?
That would be great. Yes, just a little bit smaller than what you've got there is fine. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I'm undoing the pie. I'm finding a way to mess up pie even with
really?
pie. Yeah. So anyway, this one might be the one that we want to use for the
Okay, so there
the
you
top
go.
of the pie.
And we, inside,
Because we're only going to use half of it, right? Somehow in the middle, these things get a little bit sensitive. And in the middle where they roll them up. The rest of them unroll nicely, but
right.
you can get a little bit of a mess there at the beginning. See how that's
That's
indented?
beautiful. Easy to do, Father.
Yeah, I like it because it's easy. Okay, so this one's a winner.
That's a
There we
winner.
go. See, and again, I need to warm this up a little bit. If I just put my hands here for a second, that gets that shortening a lot more flexible. You know,
Wow.
you don't want the outside of it getting real warm because then you end up ripping it up as you're trying to put it on
Right,
there.
so
So
you're
anyway,
doing
here we
that.
go. Here's the pie pan.
Right.
I'll put that directly in there. And We won't do a lot of ceremony with this, just we'll make sure it's in there nice and snugly and all the way up.
Okay.
And again, we have a little bit more crust to put on the top, so that'll be nice.
Okay.
Then in our bowl, we will go ahead and start off here with, let's see.
The blueberries?
The blueberries, yes.
And how many blueberries are you going to put in there? The whole thing?
I'm going to put the whole thing in, yes. I have found that I've never said, oh, there's too many berries in this pie. Maybe I will tonight, who knows. But, you know, I'm hoping not anyway.
They look great.
Okay, I think they're nice.
Okay.
And,
Can I get in
okay,
here to
these
get
are washed
something
and
for you?
Ready to go?
Hold on.
Okay.
See these little wonderful things that we use? They're so great, especially when you're dealing with anything
Okay,
that
yes.
you got to scoop up, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So now what's next?
Well, now you can go ahead and scoop those up and throw those right into here. So again, we have our blueberries, right? We have our peach.
All right, there you go.
One more little piece there, great.
One
If you
little
go ahead
piece
and pop open the other thing of blackberries.
Sure. Okay, just throw them in.
Yes, and
This
then,
is simple.
yeah, so far simple, right? And here's the thing, is I like, the blueberries tend to be sweeter, it's too sweet and bland for a pie, in my opinion.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just a bitter person, but I like things a little bit more sour. Anyway,
Yeah, or
and so the
tart.
the peach adds a little bit more sourness to it, and of course the blackberries are very sour. Instead of using, if I were using just blueberries, I'd put a little bit of lemon juice in. But as it is, I'll do this, and I'll cut the blackberries a little bit though, even while they're here. I guess I could take them down and kind of cut them this way. But I like to make sure that, yeah, just, you know, not every one of them has to be cut, but it's nice to have some of them cut to make sure that you're going to get that nice blackberry juice going everywhere, flavoring the pie, making it tart as well as sweet.
Okay.
And here, I'll just throw out the other biggest ones here.
Okay.
And then some cornstarch. We'll need a few tablespoons of that. So again, this is a quart of blueberries, 2 4-ounce packs of blackberries, 1 peach, and it should all fit in there pretty well.
Right.
It did last time I did this. And so...
Oh, we found the cornstarch. Yay! How many
Okay,
tablespoons
so-
now?
I'm saying at least 3 tablespoons. Here are the tablespoons.
Okay. 3 tablespoons in there?
In this little bowl.
1.
And I've cut another berry or 2 here, so that's good enough, I think.
3. Okay, there you've got 3 tablespoons.
Okay. Okay, if you'll go ahead and put the rest of those berries in there, then that'll be great. By the way, you can use frozen blueberries and blackberries as well. They might be a little bit cheaper throughout the year,
Yeah.
but let them get to room temperature first.
Okay.
Before you even put them in the bowl here,
Okay.
because
why?
we want to, when we put the pie in, we don't want to add the cornstarch mixture and let it sit too long. We don't want it to get too soaked in.
Okay.
And the other thing is, that pie is going to start cooking the crust right away. The crust will begin
Wow.
cooking, and we want the inside, the fruit, to get hot enough to start to break down and to start to boil and make that nice,
That sounds
you know,
good.
yeah, syrupy pie crust that we like so
Okay,
much.
so
I need
now
a
what?
little bit of cold water now, and I'm saying, we'll start with a 1/4 cup of cold water. Just a 1/4 cup will be enough. Okay, and then,
Here's about a 1/4 cup,
Okay.
Father.
okay, great. And then,
What do you want me
let's
to
see,
do?
if you take a little spoon and mix that up real nice. The thing is with the cornstarch, you want to make sure
There's no
that,
lumps.
yeah,
in it.
there's no lumps in the cornstarch, and it's got to be cold. So if we're going to go with regular sugar, which is fine, I'm putting in a cup. Now this might be a little bit challenging, but this is a cup of regular granulated sugar, okay? And we're throwing that in there like that, okay? You might be able to do a little bit less, but again, I think you'll have a tart pie. If you like honey, that's a nice nice
It's a
thing to
great
put
thing
in
to
thing.
do. It's very healthy
And
for you,
how
too.
much honey? Well, you know, to taste, and you almost have to try your first pie. Now, earlier this summer, because the berries are going to be different levels of sweetness and tartness, so the pie was even too tart for me, the one that I made,
Really?
because I tried to use the artificial sweetener even very sparingly. I had no regular sugar in it, so I poured some honey on it after it was already done.
Oh, that tastes good.
And yeah, so then I could control just how much I needed.
I
It
think
was
this
still
is
delicious. Oh, okay, then I need a nice big spoon to mix the fruit together a little bit.
Okay, so hold on. There's a big.
That's wonderful. Okay, then you
I'm
want
going to
to-
get behind you a minute
okay.
and wash my hands.
Okay.
Because they're turning purple, Father.
Yeah, mine are on the way to being purple too.
Really?
Okay, so here we go. We've got the pie now with a cup of, we have the ingredients for the pie. We have the two kinds of berry. Again, a quart of blueberries, 2 4-ounce packs of blackberries, and 1 peeled and chopped peach. Okay,
Right.
and we have a cup of sugar. And now we're adding a whole teaspoon
Of cinnamon.
of cinnamon. Yes,
You like cinnamon, don't you?
I do.
It's really good for you, actually.
Yes, and I hate to have a pie that just seems a little weak on the cinnamon. It's pretty hard to overpower with the cinnamon, in my opinion. I guess if I put a tablespoon
Kind of like the
in,
garlic. You know.
yes, like the garlic and everything savory. I like a lot of this in there. Okay, so isn't that nice? So
That's
again,
beautiful.
okay, so it's looking
Good.
on the way to being a pie. Okay, and then the last of the cinnamon then.
Okay.
Okay, so one more quick stir.
Right. That was really
stirring
simple, too.
success.
Anybody can do this.
Exactly, and then go ahead and give that cornstarch mixture one more stir. So again, what we have is 3 tablespoons of cornstarch and about a 1/4 cup of cold water. We just kind of guesstimated. And then go ahead and just pour that all over the berries. And pour it real fast because I'll stir it a little bit. And then I'll stir it a tiny bit more.
Okay.
Like that, and then see, you can see it's they're wet, but everything's not saturated.
That's right.
It's nice, in my opinion, about like that. I'll put that down. Oh wait, I might need this. And so into the pie shell go the berries with the other stuff. And see,
Beautiful.
you can tell I'm not using an untested recipe because look, it all fits in just wonderfully.
It does. That's perfect.
And see how the peaches are just distributed throughout there. So
Yeah, they
kind of
look
nice
beautiful.
nice little surprise throughout. A little bit more color in it. I think it's
Right.
very nice.
So when do you
Very
do
nice
the
way to do
other?
this,
When
okay.
do you do that?
And then I'll take this other piece of pie crust,
Right.
and again that I seem to have injured a little bit here. If I can have that knife, and then I'm going to take this, and I'm going to cut it in half. And I could be kind of artsy about it and make like little leaves. If I had a cookie cutter, I could do that. But right now. Here we go. Here, that's fine. If you just take a little step back, and I'm going to go ahead, and we're going to do
some strips.
Exactly. And then we'll go ahead. We're not going to try to make a perfect lattice on it, but we'll make it look nice
It'll be
enough.
nice and
Okay.
pretty.
Yes. It'll be nicer than just looking at the berries by themselves, and more importantly, it only takes a couple of seconds. Again. This is our easy pie recipe. Hopefully it will be delicious as well as easy.
Right.
Another little detail that I see that I've neglected here
What was
is if I can have one more little knife, or no, I'll tell you what, a teaspoon would be good. If you could give me a teaspoon. I forgot to put a little butter in. Okay? And again, it's best, I should have done that after I put it in the shell, but before I put on the strips. But guess what? Through the miracle of melting butter, it will melt in there very nicely, and it'll still be delicious. Maybe a couple of tablespoons for the whole pie. That piece is probably a little bit more generous than we want to be there. It just gives the pie a little bit more richness throughout, to have that little bit of. So I want to make sure I have it kind of as central as possible. And again, maybe a tablespoon and a half, not more than that. Okay, so this pie, I think we'll go ahead and throw a couple more strips on, and we'll go ahead and throw it on in there.
In the oven, right?
Yes. We've been heating the oven to about 375.
That's good.
Yeah.
You already did that. I don't have any more. Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
I got a
And
couple.
that's wonderful. Just if you
leave it
cut
like
that other
that.
one down the middle, and we'll throw those on, and it's good to go.
Okay.
Again, I wish I would have put the butter on before I put any of these strips on, but we got it pretty well distributed. I think it's nice.
Yeah, I think
I don't
that
think anyone's
it
going to be
doesn't have
spitting
to
this
be.
out.
Wait a
Okay.
minute. Hold on. One more.
Okay. Waste not, want not.
Yeah, why not? Right there. And then put one more on.
Well, I'll put that there.
And right.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna take a break. Put the
Pie in the oven.
and we're gonna keep it in there for how long, Father? About an hour.
Yes, about an hour, yeah.
So $3.75 for 1 hour. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to be back with Father Andrew Umberg and Kathryn Raaker, and we're doing what next?
Next it will be guacamole and tabbouleh.
And tabbouleh. We'll be right back. We're back on the Chef You and I, and Father Umberg is doing his second recipe, and that is what, Father?
Tabbouleh.
Tabbouleh.
Yeah, the famous Near Eastern salad.
Ooh, it's
parsley
delicious.
salad with bulgur
Delicious.
wheat. So I have some bulgur wheat here, and that's what we start off with. You want to do this way ahead of time.
Right.
Like in the morning, whatever, before your barbecue. And I'm going to put in about 3/4 of a cup.
Okay.
So I'm pouring this in here. Now this is usually in the kind of specialty grains section of the store. Sometimes it's in the kind of organic cereal section. You got to kind of look around for it. But anyway, so we've got it. And again, this doesn't have to be too precise. Okay, so we have 3/4 of a cup here, more or less.
Right.
In it goes into this bowl. Then we have been heating up in the microwave twice as much water, a cup and a half.
Right.
3/4 and 3/4 is a cup and a half. So whatever amount, you want to have twice as much hot water, bring it to a boil even, this was just boiling, and then we'll pour that on
To the bulgur.
to the bulgur wheat, yeah.
All right.
And then I like to do this, we're going to add cumin later on, but I like to add some of the cumin and get that kind of baked right into the thing or boiled right into the thing ahead of time. So I'm going to take a little bit of cumin, about, let's say about a half teaspoon for now.
There's a half teaspoon.
Wonderful. And do you want to do the honors?
Yes,
then,
I'll do the honors.
It can be a heaping half teaspoon even. But then just go ahead and just put that right in there then. Great.
Okay.
And if you'll recap that.
Sure.
Okay, then I'm going to just stir it up a little bit here, make sure it's all nice and homogenized. Now, we'll cover that then.
With a piece of aluminum foil.
Yeah, that'll be fine. Yeah, we can use one of those. That would be wonderful.
Okay.
Okay.
And put
It
that
does need to
aside.
be covered, yeah, and we'll put it aside because that water, it doesn't look like it, but that water will all soak into there very nicely.
Okay, we'll do that.
Okay, so we've begun the tabbouleh, and then I also want to begin the guacamole, if we can kind of be doing 2 layers at once.
We can do 2 layers at once, Father. So what do you want me to do?
Well,
Go
here's
get
the thing
this?
well, I'll tell you what, if you can work a little bit on the tabbouleh by getting rid of the ends of these and cutting these green onions up to about here maybe or something like that. Okay, and then I'll move some of these knives out of the way.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, I'm going to do something. I'm going to get a jalapeno pepper, which we are now going to roast. And we're going to roast this by using metal tongs. It's nice if you have a gas range to do this, then you can do it on the flame. Although, if you have a grill, it's even nicer to just go ahead and put it out on the grill. The thing is, you want to make sure you poked a hole or two first.
Right.
Because I hear these things can explode. That's never happened to me, and I don't want it to.
We don't want it to, buddy.
Exactly. So, by the way, that has some nice hot jalapeno juice on it there at the end. So anyway, I poked a couple of holes just for good measure. I'll put
Is that
2
good?
on each side.
Is that good?
That's great, but then we're going to go ahead and cut them all down to, to almost, but I mean, you can get them all together first and then, go at them. Okay, so I'm going to turn on the stove here. Let's see, I'll put on this back burner. And actually, I'll put on the front burner because I want a little bit more flame than that. Ready to go. Okay, then I'm going to take some metal tongs.
Right.
Okay, I've learned that this is the easiest way to do this. You might have the type of thing where you can leave it right on the metal of the stove, but I think we can do that. Yeah, I think this will work here a little bit. So I'll put this here, and we're roasting the jalapeno pepper. Actually, it's not working too well, so I'm going to hold it by the end here, and really get it down there into those flames. And you see, a jalapeno pepper is a nice, big, shiny thing. It almost looks like it's made out of plastic on the outside, like any pepper normally does. But see, look what we're doing to it. We're really scalding and blistering it.
So you want me to split these down the middle now? How do you want me to do this?
Sure, you can split them down the middle and then cut them into tiny little slices then.
Okay.
And another thing that you can do, besides the grill or here, And what if you have just an electric range and you just want to make some guacamole and you don't have a grill either? Well, what you can do is you can put a little oil, a little vegetable oil in a pan, preferably not olive oil, and you go ahead, you again poke the jalapeno pepper a couple of times and simply scald it by cooking it in the skillet like a hot dog.
Right.
And we'll see what we're going to do then. This is roasting the pepper, making it a little bit more mellow, a little less hot, a little less harsh. But not only that, it's going to make it so it'll peel very easily because we're going to peel that plasticky outside right off of it. And now that it's more like burnt plastic, we'll be able to do that very easily. Be careful when you're handling jalapeno because, again, yeah, you don't want to touch your eyes after it, and you know, lots of
you know what I usually do, Father, is I use plastic gloves when I'm working with them.
Oh, okay.
Which saves yourself from ever getting it in your eyes, right?
That's good. I hope I won't demonstrate what that's like in a minute here. Okay.
Okay.
And then look at our nice scalded jalapeno pepper.
Wow, Father.
Then what I'll do is I'll take a fork.
Right.
And I'll take a knife, and I think kind of more of a steak knife type of knife is nice. I'm left-handed, so I gotta go like this. And watch this. So I'll turn this sideways, and watch me. I'll go.
Ooh,
and
that's
look at how that
nice.
comes right off of that thing.
Wow.
See how I'm taking off that whole outside. Now, you don't have to be real scrupulous about it. You know, if there's a little bit left, gee, do I got to keep fighting with that? No, I don't think you do. I haven't before, and I've lived to tell the tale.
Can you really?
And in fact, it turned out fine. These different things. Salsa. It's nice if you do this before a salsa as well. There are several things that I think it's just really nice to roast the jalapenos first. But again, it can be kind of a grim business. Because if you scald them in the skillet, you might find that your kitchen smells kind of like, I don't know.
I don't know what.
Like an acid factory or something.
Really?
Something. Yeah, it can be a little bit tough. You wouldn't want to have any of that grease splatter on you either.
Yeah.
And so you got to watch these very carefully when you're cooking. But that way you can, whether it's a serrano pepper or a jalapeno pepper, or whatever you're doing, you could do them both at the same time if you want, both kinds, or several of them at a time. You know, this other way you're holding them, and it's a little bit tricky. Okay, then.
Now what do you want me to do with these, buddy?
Okay, now I want them cut with the French knife or with whatever knife you would like.
Like this?
Yeah, very thin slices. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and now with this jalapeno, I'm going to cut it down the middle like this now. See, this fork is a very nice tool for this because it hangs on to it. In fact, the Spanish word for fork is tenedor. It means holder. So.
Right.
So we'll go like this. And then look, we have all these seeds in here. I don't want all those seeds in there. The seeds are kind of hot and a little bit bitter, and we don't want all that. Now again, do we have to be scrupulous about getting every one? No, we don't. Okay? We want most of them out, though. We want most of this white matter out. So, okay, so I'm doing that still with just two instruments, kind of a steak knife and a fork.
Okay.
So here I am like this, and here I am like this.
You know, I was working this week at Jungle Jim's.
Oh.
With the new,
One of my favorite stores, the big food place in Cincinnati.
So, okay. Is that enough, Father?
That's great. And then if I can borrow that French knife a minute, then.
Go right ahead.
Okay, I'm just going to put this down here. And then
do you want me to scoop these things up for you?
Actually, no, we're doing a couple things at a time. So
Go
I'm going to I'm now cutting these jalapenos long ways.
Yeah.
Trying not to squirt myself in the eye with any jalapeno juice.
You could have left your glasses on.
That might have been smart.
Yeah.
They double as goggles. You don't want any big pieces to surprise your guests. You know,
you don't want that at all.
So, this is for the guacamole.
Okay.
These are for the tabbouleh. Okay, so again, the jalapeno pepper, it is for the guacamole.
Okay.
And there's only going to be a few ingredients to the guacamole.
Okay.
Okay, and let's go ahead and I'll go ahead and, well, if you'll go ahead and get these on those scoops, and then what I'm going to do is...
where's it going to go, Father?
It'll go into our glass bowl there.
Okay.
And then I have an onion on the way to being nice and chopped up. I want to chop it pretty finely. And I probably didn't go the right direction for that, but in any case, here.
Well, I
if
learned
can-
something on the Rachel Ray show the other day.
Oh,
You don't have to slice it down the middle. Interesting, huh?
yeah, but if I want to get this really minced small. But here we go. So if you could mince
I
this a
can
little bit more,
finish
and
it.
it's
I can
okay if the
finish
two
it.
mix. It won't point.
I can
The
finish it.
guacamole won't hurt the other dish, the tabbouleh.
Okay, so is that enough, or do you want to mince
That's
more?
good. Let's go ahead and throw these in then.
Okay.
So for the guacamole, we want the one onion, a medium onion, or medium to large onion. So go ahead and take a little bit of this as well.
Okay, Father.
About half of that's good.
You said half?
Well, yeah, a little bit of it, but well, either way,
That's
it's
all right.
fine. Okay,
Okay.
it can be mixed with the other onion. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, great. And then
Then do you want this other onion in there?
no, that'll be for the tabbouleh. And
Okay.
so, okay, so
Okay, now what?
maybe I'm going to want more of this in there anyway. I'm sorry. So again, it's just what's a medium onion. So
Okay.
great. Now I'm going to get the avocados.
Okay, they're right over here, Father.
Okay, great. And then if you can do what I'm doing, if
We're
you
going to take a
steak
break,
knife-
Father.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and we'll be right back on The Chef, You and I, right after these messages. We're back on The Chef, You and I, and Father, you are doing the guacamole, right?
Yes. So I have three avocados.
Right.
They were kind of bought at different times, so they all look a little different sizes, but I trust they'll all be delicious. So if you could there are probably many ways to
Want me to do that
cut.
for you?
Yeah, to cut an avocado. I like to cut them in quarters. So I cut I do a line down the middle. And then on either side, and because these things
And then
can
on
get so
either side?
messy,
Yeah.
they can get so messy otherwise. So I take out the pit then, and then
You take the pits out first, right?
that's what I like to do. Okay, then laying them on back on the cutting board. Then I try to get the peel off in one nice piece.
This nut's not coming out. Okay, now it's coming out.
Okay.
Okay, so you want it in quarters, Father?
Yes, that's great. Okay.
Okay, let me just check this off.
So this is nice. I have a little bit of a piece of a stem here. I want to get that out of there. Nothing worse than biting on something like that. Okay.
There you go.
So
Father.
then, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And then I will cut the quarters like this. And then I will cut them long ways like this.
Right.
And then,
Here you go, Father.
okay. Then if you'll put the pieces down here, and if you can take your scoops and put those in there. Although first I want to salt that onion a little bit. Just, an 1/8 of a teaspoon of onion. Just need a little bit on there. Okay.
Okay.
And
Here they
so
Right.
here we go. We have a grinding salt here.
I like
Which
to
is
use,
nice, yes.
I love to use sea salt.
Okay.
Did you have a
Well,
lot
good.
of
I
that
threw
in
that- some of
Israel,
that on there.
Father?
I think I did eat some there.
How'd you like the olives here?
Oh, delicious. Yeah.
All the food is excellent. So fresh. But grease? Oh my goodness, Father. I don't know. I love Greek food.
Ah.
Didn't know what he was trying. Okay, that's
go.
giving it in. Here, can you move?
There we
and I
go.
can
Sure,
do
I
it?
sure can.
There we go.
And there, if you get that last
Yeah,
little
I'll
part
get that
there.
little piece. Okay, got it.
And then we'll put one more in.
Okay,
If you go ahead and
so I'm
we'll
trying
cut
to
that
get
the same way. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I think if you quarter it first, then it's even easier to
a
get
lot
the.
easier.
Yeah, then you only got a little slice of it to get the thing off of. Great. So look at us go. And then if I could have a lime and a lemon, I think I've
Okay,
got some right
The
there.
producer's going to do that for you.
Great.
There, that's coming off really easy, actually. This is a
Good,
lot.
good. That's a very, very
this
right
is
one.
actually a lot softer.
That's beautiful.
The other ones that were a lot harder. so they were easier to do it that way. This is really already
Okay, I am now cutting into a lime,
okay.
and then this lime is not a very ripe lime. I bought this the other day, and
Right.
so
I'm
here.
gonna wash my hands, Father, just
Okay.
a minute.
Okay, and meanwhile, I'll be squeezing this lime into this lime half into the guacamole. Okay, we're just about there with guacamole now. This isn't very orthodox. Be careful if you. It's better to use a blunt instrument than a knife. But I'm going to go like this and see. Look at all this extra lime juice I can ream out of there.
That's a trick.
And it works nicely as long as your hand doesn't slip. And then I'm putting some lemon in too. We're going to use some of the lemon in the whatchamacallit, the tabbouleh. But I'll tell you what, I've recently tried a little bit of lemon as well as lime, and somehow it really lightens and brightens the flavor of the guacamole. And yeah, a lot of people, yeah, we're done with that one. This one I think we can get a little bit more out of for the tabbouleh.
Okay.
Okay, and then we're back to the big spoon. And again, I want to make sure I've stirred up and around that jalapeno pepper. We don't want a big hunk of that at the bottom of the bowl.
I don't want you to get this on you, son.
Okay,
Cleaning that
thank
up
you,
a little
thank you.
bit. No problem.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
and then if I can get a little bit of plastic wrap.
Plastic wrap, our producer will get that for us in just a second.
Wonderful. And then if I can have the salt again, a little bit of black pepper. I think I want to do a little bit more. A little bit more of that on the top, and here's the salt.
Here's a beautiful black pepper.
Okay.
I like
And
these grinding kinds. They're so much
Yeah,
nicer.
to get an 1/8 teaspoon in, I think it takes a lot of grinding there, which is good. Yeah, it's wonderful this way with the sea salt. And now I'm putting in a little bit of black pepper because I like black pepper in this. Okay.
Can you use something besides?
Sure, that would be fine. Yeah, or aluminum foil would be fine.
Aluminum foil would be great. Aluminum foil would be great. Aluminum foil would be great. We have it right here.
Okay, then I'll take a piece of that. Okay.
Let me do that. A couple pieces.
Okay, and I'm getting that thrown in there. Okay. Now here's what we're doing from here. Just one piece, please. Just one piece is good. Thank you.
Okay.
And that can go back over there. Here's what I'm doing then. Here's my secret. Now, so we have, it's not much of a secret, I guess, but still, I am smashing now.
Smashing?
This is how I'm mixing it. Instead of trying to get all that that avocado, kind of pasty by trying to stir it, I have found that I like it if I get my ingredients in there, get it nice and stirred up well enough.
Smash it with a, right.
And then this will be the thing, I mean, normally if it were plastic wrap, it would be the same thing that I would store it with.
Yeah.
With the jalapeno and the lemon, I probably don't want to use that for storage, but I can use it for smashing purposes here really nicely.
Yeah.
Okay, and then this is pretty much ready, folks. It's just, what we need to do with it now is simply allow it to, what?
Sit for a while?
Yeah, sit for a while.
In the refrigerator?
Ideally in a refrigerator, yeah, covered. I'm going to stir it a little bit more, though, just to make sure we got it nicely stirred. And then
Okay. So you want me to
and then a
do
piece
that?
of what, yeah. And then a plate or anything over there. I just,
I'll do a plate.
yeah, I just don't trust aluminum foil on tomatoey things or other acidy things. Sometimes it starts pitting.
All right, let's do this.
Okay, I'll throw this in here. I'll move the spoon, and we are good to go.
Do you want me to put a smaller plate so that
That's fine. That'll be wonderful, just like that.
just like this?
Beautiful. And then
Put it
if
in
I
the
can go to the
refrigerator.
refrigerator then. Thank you.
You're welcome. So what else now, Father?
Well, I think I'm forced to have to sample some of this that was left on the spoon here. Excuse me.
We're going to take a short break. Good, let's do that. We're back on the Chef You and I.
Okay, and now we're cutting some tomatoes. These are store-bought vine-ripened tomatoes, and some of these have a little bit of a core, so we're cutting those out a little bit, and then we're mincing them for the tabbouleh. So the tabbouleh right now, all we have in this bowl right now is tomato. Remember though, we took the bulgur wheat There's a Bulgar. We took some of that and we put twice as much boiling water as Bulgur wheat, and we put some of this cumin in with it, or cumin or cumin, C-U-M-I-N, and we put that in. We put in about, what was it, about a teaspoon of that?
Teaspoon of it. It was really good.
Half teaspoon maybe.
Half teaspoon.
Again, not an exact science. We'll probably add a little bit more later if we want it a little bit more. And it adds a certain savory flavor that if people aren't used to the smell, our producer took a whiff of that smell and it kind of smelled like a soup. Yeah, it kind of added a lot of flavor.
He is really he actually tastes everything that we do, actually. Except he can't do bean soup. Sorry about that.
And that's what's coming up next, a little bit of black bean soup.
Yeah, I actually love black bean soup. Okay, we're almost done with these.
Yes, almost done with the tomatoes. So, right now we have the tomatoes in there. In fact, while you're mincing up this last little bit, so what will we put, about 5 vine-ripened tomatoes?
5.
Okay, and again, that's for 3/4 of a cup of Bulgur wheat with 1.5 cups of water. And again, the Bulgur wheat will soak in all the water. If it doesn't, you can pour a little bit of the water off, but you kind of try to wait till the end before you do that, okay? And so the rest of this is going in, and then I'm going to salt this tomato a little bit. Again, maybe not even 1/8 of a teaspoon. And then if you go ahead and throw in that green onion now.
Oh, now I can throw the green onion in.
Yeah, and you know, I'll crack a little bit of pepper into here too. This is again for our tabbouleh. Often I would put some of these ingredients in toward the end.
Right.
But we're trying to, we wanted to show everyone how to prepare the Bulgur
What are you
wheat.
going to do with this?
Well,
We're doing this
those
first.
are in there too. I'll tell you what, recently I have found some of the green onions didn't have all the power I wanted them to.
Really?
And I think this should be an oniony dish.
Right.
We'll have garlic in it as well as some onion. And so we'll do that. And then if you can go ahead and scoop this in, I would appreciate that. In fact, I'll salt it a little bit before we put it in even. Okay.
Okay.
Great. Go ahead and throw that on in. And then a principal ingredient will be parsley. So I would ask that you go ahead and mince these. We have English cucumbers.
Do you want me to take the seeds out?
Well, I hear you can leave them in, but yeah, well, maybe just to be safe. And I have an American, an American cucumber, whatever kind of cucumber we normally have. They're the non-British ones.
Right.
In any case, we're going to go ahead and peel them and take the seeds out of both. And then we'll cut them in about the same size pieces as the tomato and the regular onion. You know, we really minced up the green onion to make it nice and small. If I could have the garlic then, please, that would be helpful. And
Do you, actually, my question is now, do you want me to take the peel off or not?
Yes. And I'm throwing a nice bit of garlic because anyone that's seen my show before know that I put my foot on the gas rather than on the brake when it comes to garlic. But also, that is the way this dish is made. Okay, so I'm putting 2, more or less, heaping teaspoons, conventional teaspoons. Okay. So again, that'll end up being more like almost 2 tablespoons of minced garlic if you get it from the jar. I will now salt that a little bit. I believe that salting this stuff as we go, just a little bit. We don't want to overdo it, but I feel that draws out the flavor. So I'm going to mix this all around a little bit here.
Now, you want these cubed, Father?
Yes, like the tomatoes.
Like the tomatoes.
And I'll go ahead and I'll take one of these things in and work on it. Okay, the peeler.
All right. That's a really nice peeler. You can go either way with it.
Okay. Great. Okay.
Okay, let me put this in here for a minute. And this in here for a minute. And this in here for a minute.
Okay, and then I'll cut this thing down the middle. Like this. Okay, and then I'll cut it down here like this. Again, with these seeds, we want most of them out because that'll make it a little bit easier to digest for lots of people.
Yeah, because seeds are hard on people's digestion.
Yes, so.
Okay, where's this?
And if you'll go ahead and pitch this seed pod, if you will.
I will. Let me just get this out.
Sure. You know, another thing is it might be nice to quarter the the cucumbers long ways before seeding them. That can be another way that
Yeah,
you can get.
do you know how I do it? Watch.
Okay.
I like to do it, well, I usually peel them first before I start, but I'm doing it this way. But I always just take a spoon and go down the middle. Takes them
Okay.
all out, and you get it all at once.
Okay, then I'll let you do that
I'll do it
with
for you.
these. I've hacked that one up a little bit there. Sorry about that.
Okay.
But actually, I'll try your
It does
spoon
work.
method here a little bit. Oh, it's
It does.
wonderful.
I
It's
told
wonderful.
you.
Yeah, it pops right out.
Now you learn something new
Exactly.
from the chef, from Kathryn Raaker chef.
There
Great.
we go. Okay.
Wonderful.
So
Sample.
I've made a lot of guacamole this summer and a decent
Yeah.
amount of tabbouleh.
Yeah.
So this isn't my first rodeo, as it were. And yeah, so
You were a chef before you were a priest. Hello. Right?
yes, we would hope.
We were
Yeah, I
not.
mean, I wasn't a fully cert, but I cooked a lot and I did go to cooking school. I
Yeah.
went to
The most
a chef
important
program.
thing.
Yeah.
And that's the most important.
Well, look at me now.
Listen.
I've learned the Kathryn Raaker method.
It's pretty easy, actually.
Yeah, like what I'm getting rid of cucumber seeds in a single bound.
Yeah, I know. Cool. Let me go get something to clean up this little thing. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. We're back on the Chef You and I, and I'm ripping the mint.
Yes, that's what we're going to do. We're going
Okay.
to here. Let me show the mint real quick.
Okay.
Now the mint, I think some people have put spearmint in tabbouleh. I'll tell you what, I'm a peppermint lover. I mean, it's funny, in gum I want spearmint, but in tabbouleh, in cooking, as far as I know, I want something more closer to peppermint, and this is peppermint. And we're taking these individual leaves, and a leaf this big, we will take and rip into about 8 little pieces, more or
Okay.
less, okay? So,
Okay, got it.
And I put it right over the top of the thing and throw those on in there. Then I've got 2 sprigs of parsley, or I mean not 2 sprigs, two bunches of parsley. We've rinsed off the mint and we've rinsed off the parsley. And what I do here is I take this parsley and I just rip off the heads. I try not to get too much stem in it. But see, it can go pretty quickly here if I'm good. And then at some point, now can you smell that, how delicious?
Oh.
The mint and the parsley together now.
yeah.
Before we just had onion, which is getting a little bit overpowering. But now we're kind of sweetening up the whole thing by putting this in there. I'm sorry, I'm gonna throw some stems down here for now. Okay, and then see again the way this parsley grows. It's like little tree tops. You just rip the tree tops off the top. And continue to put in it. We can put it in the whole bunch. Again, like any salad, how much lettuce do you need for a salad? Well, there's no real science to it, so
Right.
it's how much parsley do you want? You want enough to make sure that you have some good flavor. How much mint? Well, if you think it's too minty, then you put in too much mint. If you want more, then throw more in, And it's difficult to know exactly how it's going to turn out until you leave it in the refrigerator for a while.
That's
Let's
right.
first start off with a decent, generous amount. So I'm stirring in now some. Is all the mint in there
Yes,
that we had?
that you
Okay.
did.
Okay, great. Then I will stir it in. Make sure it gets everywhere.
I love this parsley. It is so nice. This is English parsley, and it's not flat leaf. It looks like
Yeah, I
a
like
tree.
it to be and it's nice and curly, so everything gets covered with that flavor. I think if I were cooking, I think I'd like the Italian parsley a little bit more. But since we're preparing a salad, the parsley isn't cooking. You really want this. This will keep a couple of days in the refrigerator. If you keep it covered there.
So you're going to start making the bean soup, right?
Yes. While you're working on the parsley now, I'm
Right.
going to begin our black bean soup.
Okay.
Okay, so
right.
with regard to our next item here, our black bean soup, we're going to start with
That garlic.
we're going to start with garlic, but never just the garlic. We'll also use some olive oil, some extra virgin olive oil.
Right.
I'm going to put in about a 1/4 cup,
Okay. My mother
and
never
we might be
used-
approaching
my
a third
mother-
of a cup here, but we're making a lot of soup, so that's okay.
My mother never, ever measured anything. It was
Yeah.
a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Yeah, I tend to do the same thing, which I
do
guess
too.
is so
I think
anyway.
after a while you know. But if you're a brand new cook, you need to do that, right?
Right, or if it's uncharted territory and you're not sure how it should
You don't want it to
So
come
here's
out
a
weird.
heaping, again, off the table. So that's a good tablespoon. I'm putting 2 tablespoons in of chopped garlic into this, into a soup pot, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. And then I'll show this real quick. Here's what we've got here. We've got, again, about 1/3 of a cup, maybe a little bit more of olive oil. And then all that garlic. Look at that garlic. Anyway, so I'll put that there. But there's another very important ingredient here.
What?
And that is bacon grease.
Bacon grease?
For a black bean soup, you know, again, I use mostly olive oil, which is, of course, more healthy. But I was frying some bacon, and I like to buy the either butcher shop bacon or the kind of thick bacon that you can get at the grocery store, okay?
Right.
And then,
I'm going to use, just pardon me, I need to
sure,
wash my
sure.
hands off.
And I'm going to put in, so I poured the grease off of that, and I'm putting in about a tablespoon, okay? And I'm going to mix that in right with the other oil.
Wow.
And the garlic.
Looks good.
Okay, and then, yeah, as soon as that olive oil gets all over that bacon grease, it'll melt very quickly.
Right.
So we want it to.
Save your glass jars from your spaghetti sauce and different things, and then you can put your bacon grease or grease in it. It makes it a lot easier. Right, Father?
Yes, I'm also a fan of the coffee mug
Yeah, that's a good idea.
because usually a batch of bacon has just about a coffee mug's worth of grease in it.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I
Do
found.
you need any
Maybe
more?
a little bit
do you
more.
need
But
any more parsley in there or not, Father?
I would put in a little bit more, yeah, if you don't mind.
You're a
And
little
here I'll move
you
this.
really like parsley, don't you?
Oh, I do. Well, we're making a lot, and I think it's nice that way. Okay, I'll get rid of this, and now I start with some black beans. Again, I've just bought black beans at the store. In the can, they have kind of almost like a syrup, kind of a purpley syrup. And now that I've got now the bacon grease is completely gone. And see, now it smells bacony in the house now.
Yeah, it does.
And I will take this and I'll pour in a can of beans. And that's going to cool it down a little bit, which is good because I had it going a little bit hot there. Okay? And then I'm also going to use some chicken broth that I bought at the store.
Yeah.
And
Is that low sodium, Father?
some of it is, and some of it I go a little. This is low sodium and mostly fat-free, so I'll put this in.
And that does help you a lot. Cutting down on your salt helps.
And then the next thing I need to do is I need to have the beans put in the blender. I'm gonna I have 4 cans of beans for this. Okay, so 4 cans that are each, what are they? 15 and some change ounces. Okay, so I'm going to take the 2 of the cans and pour them directly in, maybe even just 2.5 cans. Okay, because you want to know that there's black beans in there.
Hold on, Father. I think this timer is off.
Oh,
so
wow,
we have
okay.
to-
Now the pie, we turned down. We started at 375. We said we were going to do that for an hour. It seems a little bit more intense. Ovens each are a little bit curious with their own way of cooking.
Can I check it
turned
out?
it down. Yes, you can check it out. We turned it down to 350 though, about 20 minutes in.
Can I look?
Sure.
We're back. And Father, I'm pouring these beans that we have used in the emulsifier.
So yeah, so we took 2 of the 4 cans of beans. In fact, we took 2.5 of the 4 cans of beans and put them in a blender or emulsifier along with chicken broth. About just enough to make sure that it would stay liquidy. Otherwise, those beans just almost turn into paste. So in this batch, then we have again about 1/3 of a cup, maybe a little bit more of olive oil, a heaping tablespoon of bacon grease. Then we also have the garlic, about 2 tablespoons of garlic, 4 cans of beans, and about 1.5 cups of chicken broth.
And
So
how
we
long
mix
do you
some
cook
in.
this then?
It's really just about ready to go as soon as the ingredients are in. However, I need the cayenne pepper still. And I'll take that, thank you. And with this, we'll put in, I'm going to say for this batch, for 4 cans of for 4 cans of beans, I'm going to put in a good half tablespoon. More closer to a teaspoon.
Okay.
Maybe 3/4 of a teaspoon, we could say.
Okay.
Okay, and again, it's to taste. Some people would think this is really hot. You'll be amazed, though, how much flavor the beans can absorb, you know. And then I'm taking store-bought taco sauce, and you've got that stirred really nicely. And, and so now I'm going to put in about a half cup of this. This is adding a little bit of sweetener to it and a little bit more heat. Okay, maybe a little bit more than a half cup. Here's where it's down to. It was up to here. So a third of a bottle, we could say, of taco sauce, okay?
Okay, now what?
It is ready to serve, and it should be served. Here, if we can get it a little closer here.
I'm going to do this, if he can see this, and then I'm going to put it into a nice serving bowl.
Okay, a nice tureen there.
And then we have sour cream to put on top.
Yeah, a nice thing to put on top is sour cream and a little bit of chopped onion on the top.
Okay.
But again, and it's great to serve with tortilla chips. If you make the guacamole as well, then you have, you know, the tortilla chips already out. It's a wonderful, wonderful
turn it
dish.
off now?
Yeah, yes, it's as soon as the ingredients are in, it's good to go.
We're back on the Chef, you and I, after a little accident, but now it's fine. So you're actually putting the bulgur into your tabbouleh, correct?
Yeah, yes. Normally this would be done, you would normally have this at the bottom, but here I'm putting it in the top here.
That sounds good,
and,
looks good.
Yeah, I think it'll look okay and taste okay.
So
taste is the main thing. I'm about the taste. Okay, so.
What do you want me to do with the lemon?
Well, there's a good question. How about going ahead and, well, here, I'm gonna toss this in a little bit because we don't want all the lemon in the bulgur. But I'm gonna go ahead. Again, this is bulgur with a little bit of coriander, right? We put a teaspoon in. Not coriander. We're putting cumin. Sorry. And then okay, now let me stir a little bit.
Okay.
If I can stir a little bit here, and we'll get this. See, as you see, it doesn't look like as much bulgur now, does it? Now that it's mixed in with all that parsley in. Okay,
Can you add more?
Please do add more.
Okay, watch it.
And then if I can have that other lemon, we're going to go ahead and put even more in.
Okay.
This should be a pretty lemony dish when it's all done, really. Again, you taste the lemon, the mint, the garlic, and the cumin, and you're wondering what is in this stuff. And unless you've seen the show.
I wish I could try it. Well,
Yes.
I'll try it without garlic and see how it tastes.
Okay, see how that works? I'm putting a little bit more olive oil, too. I was asked by the producer, do we put a dressing on it? And we've got a little bit of olive oil, but I've just now added about another quarter cup of olive oil.
Yeah, that looks beautiful.
And I think that should be very nice
now.
now.
And then you put that in the refrigerator. Can you serve it right away, Father?
Oh, you definitely want it in the refrigerator a while. Now,
Okay, so
normally you would
let's
be
do this.
starting with but we'll show what it looks like. And it can be eaten, the classic way would be with pita bread. You know, you rip up, maybe heat up a little pita bread or, and put that in with it. However, another nice thing, and in the United States, we just love our tortilla chips. And I think it's nice on tortilla chips as well. I have tried it that way, and I think it's nice.
We have scoopers.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, look at that.
We'll get into those. So here we go. We have a nice portion of this now. Well, more than a portion. I actually don't eat that much, folks. That's about for a family of 10 or what?
Yeah, I think it's about
a couple folks. Okay. Well, how nice. Okay, so we now have, what do we have going here now? We have the pie and the guacamole.
And the soup.
And the soup.
Let's move all that so the photographer can get that real quick.
So 3 of these items are great with chips. Great with chips, tortilla chips, great with tortilla chips, great with tortilla chips.
And we have tortilla chips as well. And I have some scoopers right here, Father.
Oh, then maybe we should try a little bit here.
Okay, now try that, Father.
Okay, so first I'll try the guacamole. And it's probably, I could probably use some more smashing here of these things, but that won't really affect the flavor.
I can't try, Father. Sorry. Is it good? Now,
very nice.
Why don't you try this, Father? Scoop that into here.
Okay.
You can do that.
Yeah, this is very garlicky, so
Okay,
I better eat
it.
this one.
Yeah, you better eat it. Because guess what? Kathryn can't. So, if you're like me and you're allergic to garlic, just leave the garlic out. Well, I think we had a really lot of fun tonight, and I want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
You have to come again next month. We'd love to have you. And we want to say to all of you, don't forget to check out thechefyouandi.com. Go to our new television network, which is mytv2go.net, and go on the Lifetime and go to Kathryn Raaker's World. We'll see you next time on The Chef You and I.
Thanks for joining us on the Chef You and I show today. We'll be back next week with another great and healthy recipe. Don't forget to visit our website, thechefyouandi.com, for all of our featured recipes, cooking tips, and clips of the show.